evening, everybody. My name is Vice Admiral J.L. Galloway, your Fleet 31 Commanding Officer. Tonight, I am joined by our special co-host tonight, Grand Nagus Matt, and of course, our community manager, Vice Commodore Scott Sterling.
Howdy, howdy.
Unfortunately, guys, tonight our normal co-host, Rear Admiral Jennie Hay, our Deputy Fleet Commander, is not able to join us because of work obligations, but she should be in the audience to troll us. Hey, look, it's a Janeway!
Janeway!
All right, guys. All right. For anybody who doesn't know, get that reference, just watch Star Trek Lower Decks and pay close attention to the pay close attention to the backlights.
You don't like candy corn. Why are you calling me?
All right, Kaylee. I'm trying to have a show here. Kaylee came over here because I have Jenny's favorite snack.
If you hear a beeping noise, then I'm cooking food.
Sorry. Sorry about that, guys. Matt, thank you for joining us today and doing this.
Thank you for having me.
So, usually we go around the room and we talk about what everybody's been up to all this week. We'll start with our special guest tonight.
Not much, just a lot of work and a lot of extra work.
Okay. Scott?
Yeah, pretty busy weekend. I went up to New Hampshire to do a grave marking for an ancestor from Revolutionary War and I got officially inducted into the Sons of the American Revolution.
That is awesome.
Right after, so yeah.
For me, it's been a nice, quiet, boring week at work, which I really appreciate, especially after a 21-day work stint. What was I going to say about that? For those who don't know, being an induction to something like special and unique like that is a wonderful feeling and experience. I have not been inducted into what he has been, but in the Boy Scouts of America, which is an organization I volunteer with, I was inducted into the Order of the Arrow, which is their National Honor Society, back in 2012. And I can tell you from another person who's been inducted into something and how awesome and special that feels. It's amazing.
Yep.
And unfortunately, like I said, Jenny should be in the audience, I hope. Surprised she's being a little nice, especially since I kind of opened up the trolling session.
I mean, she is working, so she'll be here eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Did they ever figure out if her internet was down or not?
At work?
Yeah.
Oh, so for those who don't know, Scott, Jenny, and I all have this chat group going on that my wife is also involved in, but she rarely participates. But this week we added a new member to our group, and it's our fellow co-host and special guest host tonight. So I think he finally realizes how obnoxious Jay and Jenny can be during the day, and why Scott's like, I had 80 messages to check.
And this week has been late, Matt, since you joined it.
Well, the best part is I just put you on mute when I go to bed. So.
Wait, you can do that?
Yeah.
All right, guys. So, okay, sorry, thought something was in my teeth there for a second.
It's all like candy corn.
Yeah, that nastiness. That is
Sammy.
Thank you for joining us. There's nothing nasty about candy corn.
There's a lot of things nasty.
It's knockoff Starscream.
Really? So, says the guy who got the pumpkin variety candy pack and showed it to us.
I didn't say I was eating it.
Uh-huh.
I'm making a profit off of it.
Okay. Sammy, thank you for joining us tonight. Later, you're going to have to tell me how scouts were. One of her kids, I believe, is going into the scouting program, so they kind of left for the night, and I haven't talked to her since like 4 o'clock.
Oh,
which is also unusual, too, because usually we talk until like 5 or 6. Wait, what? What? Oh, no.
Oh, wait. Jay changed his shirt.
You just not noticed that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. I did.
Isn't that shirt you done last week?
I think we're being invaded.
Hi, guys.
We got
Hi.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Why, no. Jenny's a guest tonight. She got moved down to 4th.
Rude.
Ow.
Sorry, Jenny.
John,
you know we love you.
Hey, she's just Jenny. She's not Vice or whatever. or
Is she
ranking.
Jenny from the block?
I didn't put my name in because I couldn't remember how to spell it all. And okay,
Well, I can help you with that.
I know you can.
She
So-
knows not to trust me.
Hooked on phonics didn't work for you.
No,
It
I mean, it
depends.
didn't work for me.
It depends. They didn't have any pretty crayons. Maybe if they would have some pretty crayons, it would have been a little better.
excuse me, guys. I'm on lunch break, so.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay.
hmm
Wait, they let
Wow.
you have lunch?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I have somebody else working with me, it's kind of nice.
So
Yeah.
my hands aren't seriously on the keyboard or anything, right? But my computer's being kind of funny.
hmm I can just leave.
I don't want you to leave, Jenny. We like having you here. I'm just saying that's where the mouse just ended up.
You know, pickles are great, so
Hey, I said to pickle or not to pickle tonight.
I forgot that these tacos come with feta cheese. Gross.
Oh. So I guess that does beg the question: to pickle or not to pickle? Apparently, according to Jenny, I am the pickle.
Mm-mm.
That's
I
what
didn't
you
say
said.
that.
That was according to me, not Jenny.
Yeah, I said that.
Okay, according to Jenny's better half. Actually, I can't say that. Scott, she's probably your better half.
Yes.
You got a small plate?
Oh, is that your coworker?
Uh-huh.
Uh,
I don't know if he wants to be on TV, so a live stream.
I don't know if he wants to either.
He just went like this.
You want like this? No.
It's just like a radio host, tune away if you don't
You're
want to hear this.
different.
I'll wave when
You're different because I didn't know you were weird.
Jocelyn, thank you for joining us tonight.
Jocelyn, my cousin Jocelyn?
Yep.
Yeah, right
Yes,
there,
my
see?
cousin Jocelyn.
Yes, Jenny is hard at work, Jocelyn. So
I
you guys
am.
should give her, good praises and maybe, reward her with like maybe a dessert or something.
So hard work because there's no internet at my job, guys.
Still no internet?
Still no internet.
Still no?
Matt, I guess that answers the question.
Yeah, yes, it does.
Yeah. We were just talking about that before you came on.
So how are you checking people? How are you checking people in then tonight?
Mentally,
How do you know they have a reservation?
we have the papers.
Wait, papers? Oh wow.
You know the
Right.
thing when you get to work and you print off things about the hotel?
Oh, see, I work for a Japanese high-tech company, and we don't do things with paper. only thing we do with paper, seriously, is we print out the packing slips for the delivery drivers.
Oh.
Beyond that,
Wow.
everything for us is email.
See, at my casino, we go through a ream and a half of paper just in my department alone a night.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yep.
Because, I got to have backup copies of backup copies of backup copies of backup copies.
Jeez.
Yep.
And we just
Yep.
have it. You just point out, the dirty vacant rooms, who's all here,
Mhm.
and then we have to manually call credit cards to get them authorized.
Oh, okay.
And, but can you set up folios?
No,
Or you can't set up folios. So there's no
nope, I
charging
can't
to
do
the room.
anything.
No charging
I
to the
can listen-
room.
Nope, they can charge the room. We just write it down, then charge it to later.
I have to agree with Jocelyn here. The Hay family, they are hardworking family.
hmm
We are a hardworking family.
And of course, I waited till right as she took a bite so she could see.
So,
Wow, Jay, your timing's a little off.
Holy
then.
cow, you inhaled that.
Jay, you gonna
Yeah.
join me in a 26.2 mile ruck march in March?
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
No, thank you. Oh, they're both former military. He turned around when he talked about that. He's also, well, I told y'all, he's former military.
To your podcast.
Mm.
Is he a crayon eater?
Does he eat crayons?
I worked with crayon eaters. I
Okay.
was corpsman.
Okay.
We like Corman.
Yeah.
Except
also like
for when they asked us to come down to
corn.
their bay.
I have.
That's
I
the only
moved-
time I did not like a Corman. because I knew what that meant. Stick and
I
jab.
have no problem with corpsmen.
No,
Only
stick and
crayon
jab.
eaters.
You are a crayon eater.
He
I am not.
Dave is Marine and
I was in superior force.
Superior.
Yeah, the United States Army.
Superior.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Are we really gonna go with that story?
Yes.
I mean, you guys. I mean, crayon eaters are the bullet sponges. The corpsmen patch up the bullet sponge, and the army just we dominate.
Just
Do I
sits
need to
there
re-show
after
you
the
that
works are done.
TikTok? Do I need to re-show you that TikTok, Matt? About Marines being a cult, and about how you don't mess with the Marine, and
Yeah.
oh, Jenny, you should definitely show your co-host. I mean, co-host, your co-worker,
apparently you're my co-host now.
your co-worker that Marine video. He might get a kick out of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, we gotta head because our boss just texted us, so I'll see y'all later, guys. That's
All
what I
right.
pop in.
All right.
All right,
Bye.
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 Oh man, she's gone. It's fun having Jenny on the show.
Hmm.
But
I
anyway,
seriously hope she shows him that TikTok.
She probably will if she hasn't already.
Okay.
but anyway, we're talking down here. The USS Windrunner and I are talking about doing the Bataan Death March in March.
Why would you do this to yourself?
Because you
Uh,
can.
I'm trying to lose a lot of weight.
But doing a 26-mile, okay, so I can do the 50-mile hike right in my backpack easily. But why would I want to do a death march?
Well, because
Maybe you should tell people what a death march actually details, because it's different than a backpacking trip.
it's just a 26.2 mile rock march in the desert.
And
Through
how
sand.
many hours?
You got to complete in 12 hours.
So you see what I'm saying, guys? It's not that I can't do it. Just why would I want to do it? Remember, the Marines are smart people.
Because it's fun.
I was waiting for Matt to say something about the smart comment.
I already commented too many times about how smart Marines are.
And I'm staying out of this.
I don't know if I believe him. No, Scott, that's actually pretty wise because military members we can pick on each other all day long.
Oh, I know. I work with them every day. I know.
But as soon as a civilian starts attacking a military member, all the military members come running.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, wait a second. Only we're allowed to make fun of the Air Force.
Air Force.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Actually, I have a friend that's this is gonna be kind of sound funny. He's in the Reserve Air Force, but yet he works at an Army base as a civilian contractor during the week, and then so he's actually in two different branches. But he's a civilian contractor in the Army / Air Force reservist.
I got one better for you.
Okay.
Okay. I was in the National Guard originally before I went active.
Okay.
The National Guard has a program called Federal Technician. Okay. You have to be in the Guard to be a Federal Technician. So we had an Air Force Fed Tech. During the week, he was an Army Federal Technician working on our trucks. And then on the weekends, he was an Air Guardsman.
Well, that's pretty cool.
So he literally had to wear both uniforms.
Both.
Because during the week he had to wear his Army fatigues because that's the requirement for the federal tax. And then during the weekend he had to wear the Air Force fatigues.
No, what's interesting is I didn't realize how many civilians actually served with the military, not in the military.
Oh yeah.
We only had a couple when I was in active duty, but now that I've been out and I have friends that are reservists, and like my good friend Scott, another guy named Scott.
Yeah, I was saying, not me.
Yeah, another guy named Scott. Scott, he moved closer to the base because now that he works out there full time. But Scott, yeah, he's a pretty cool guy, and but yeah, I didn't realize how many civilians actually assist the military. And it's actually better to be a civilian because, for those who don't know, military members get get standard transfer orders every 2 years, typically. Sometimes you can stay the full 3 to 4 years. What I mean by 3 years, a typical contract is that you do 4 years at one or 4 year assignment, right? But three of it is at one base assignment. It could be West Coast, East Coast. It could be overseas. But then usually the final year, you'll either go to the other coast or you'll go overseas for the final year of the contract.
Yeah, the Army does it slightly different, but yes.
But that's for the Marine Corps.
Yeah, we move every 3 years generally. But I do know I did have a command sergeant major who literally started out as a private in the same battalion that she was a command sergeant major of and never moved. She went for every rank in the same battalion.
Wow. That's pretty impressive because usually most people transfer and move. I've seen other Marines actually come back to units.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've never actually seen somebody actually go all the way through.
That's unheard of.
Yeah.
She spent 23 years in the same unit.
Now, with that said, I was one of the few exceptions. I stayed in the same unit all 4 years. So
I bounced around every couple years. In fact, at one point in my career, I moved every 11 months.
Wow. I think the reason for me staying though is because of WTI at the time, Weapon Tactical Instructors course, and it was hard to get people trained up in there, and so I think that's the main reason. And I did a lot of domestic traveling, just not international. It didn't mean that we didn't have international contingents coming to us, because they did, but my CO would never sign off on me going to over to the UK, because one of the things I did in the military was distribution NCO, checking paperwork and logistics and all that. It's kind of fun being pampered by the officers and also scared as hell. I don't know if you guys know, but yes, you could be an enlisted man, but you don't really want to sit with a bunch of officers saying yes sir, no sir, yeah, okay, and of course they're trying to make small talk, and you're just trying to make sure that you don't say something inappropriate to screw it up. Because if anybody thinks the Marines are nice, well-mannered, polite people, you're wrong.
They're not. But see, I was on the other side of the house. I was enlisted, but I hung out with only officers.
No, see, that would have been too nerve-wracking for me.
Well,
it might have been a respectable Marine if that would have happened.
Well, part of that was because my wife at the time was an Army nurse, not military, but she worked for the DoD.
Okay.
And all of her friends were officers.
Oh, I would have hated that. What? My wife wants me to tell you some story about Furbies.
Furbies? Those
I don't know why.
things?
You remember the Furby?
Those things are unholy.
Yes, but you remember them, right?
Yes.
So Walgreens, so my mom's obsessed with them. So Walgreens had these obnoxious little miniature versions. They didn't actually talk or anything. They were just, like little plushies with like a little plastic feet on the bottom and a little plastic beak for a nose. So I bought like 4 of them for my mom because they're like 50 cents each. So, and they had a whole bucket of them, a whole big barrel. So I don't think I've ever told this story. So when I was in the Marine Corps, I was going through a divorce from my first wife, and I already had agreed to go to the Marine Corps ball, and I didn't have a date, and I wasn't really ready to date, and my mom had never done anything fancy, so I'm like, hey mom, and then it's like, do you want to come to the Marine Corps ball and be my date, and my mom's like, yeah, sure, that'd be great, I thought it would be nice to have my mom do a black tie event, and so she agreed. And then when she came down, well, my dad joined too, but that's a different story. Anyways, so when my mom came down, I decided, for her doing an 18-hour drive, I just get her these four Furbies, and I thought she'd be like, "Oh, Jay, thank you, that's so great." No, next thing I know is she's like, "Where'd you get these? We need to get more of them." Mom, I don't want to go. She literally made me take her and show her how to get over to the Walgreens, and then she went over to the bed and basically bought the whole entire box.
So in other words, the Furbies turned into tribbles.
Yes, quite literally tribbles. And then, yeah, so she just bought them all up, and then she started collecting and make sure she had the whole set for herself. And then she's like, "Well, I'm gonna give this one to Candy." And my sister, I already know in my mind what my sister's gonna say. Thank you, Dad. Or not Dad. Dad. Thank you, brother. You know. But my dad, that's okay. I was thinking about my dad. So, like I said, he came too. My dad's like, "Thank you, son." He's like looking at me, right? He's like, "Thank you, son," because my mom is seriously obsessed with Furbies.
Have you ever seen a naked Furby?
No, but
yeah, they're just like naked tribbles.
No, I mean these things are creepy.
Oh, Jen, I didn't want to tell that story. My wife snitched on me. There's another Furby story too. There's another one, okay? So, for whatever reason, my mom's obsessed with Furbies. I can't believe we're spending my Star Trek show talking about Furbies, Jen. So, okay, caveat. Or not caveat. So, basically, my mom's obsessed, right? I already established that, right? Now we're going to go back in time. So, one of the first things is in the Marine Corps or in any service, Matt, you can contest to this or speak to this. I mean, not contest. You miss a lot of holidays. You miss a lot of you miss a lot of holidays.
Yes.
Especially the important ones. Especially when you're first starting out, you don't have any seniority, you don't have any time in service. You're gonna stay for Christmas at the base. Maybe if you're lucky, some of your fellow service members will be willing to switch with you, but no, not usually. I mean, yeah, we Marines are really nice to each other, but we also enjoy going home. So because of that, I didn't get to go home, and me and a bunch of other Marines didn't get to go home, and so we had a first sergeant. Why say first sergeant? Before we had our first sergeant, we had two staffing COs. They were both acting as first sergeant. That's what I meant to say. So Staff Sergeant Bazowski was mine. I still remember his name. And what he did is he reached out to all of our families, which we didn't know, but I guess he called all of our moms or something. I don't really know how he did it, but he reached out to all of our families, and he got them to send us all care packages, and he held them at his house because he lived off base. And then he invited everybody over. Him and his wife invited everybody over. And then when we got there on Christmas morning, his tree was filled with gifts. And I know that Staff Sergeant Bazowski is a single man. So I'm like, why does this tree have so many gifts? I was like, maybe he really loves his wife. And it didn't dawn on me that the gifts were all for all of us Marines. And then of course he starts going around and he's wearing a Santa costume and he starts handing things out. And like I had this big box from my ex-wife, from my mother, like my sister, my dad, everybody sent something and they put it in the box, right? So I'm opening this box and the gift from my mom comes, and I started opening it and it's a Furby. An honest to God Furby. Then my other Marines see this and they're like, "Oh." Back in those days, they called me Port because I'm from Oregon, and when you think of Oregon, you think of Portland. So they always called me Port, like Port. Like he's like, we got to see that. So they put the batteries
Because
in.
Marines are unoriginal.
Yeah, it's easier sometimes when you can identify somebody by the geographical location they're from. That said, so yeah, they started programming it to say bad and naughty words. And then here's the best part. Here's the kicker. When I got out of the service, I gave it back to my mother.
Nice.
I'm like, here, Mommy, here you go. Have this. Mom, if you're watching, you're welcome. You should be watching, Mom. My wife liked to make the comment that that Furbies, when she had one, she always had to put it in a drawer because if you didn't, it always made creepy comments at the most inconvenient times.
They are creepy.
I know, right?
And demonic.
Yeah, but most of the time, so they taught a bunch of bad words, and then I kept it like inside my room, obviously, but I always kept it hidden, and I always took the batteries out, and then of course my fellow Marines would come over every so often just to mess with me, put the batteries back in it. Because by the way, guys, there is no such thing as privacy when you're in the service. There is no such concept as privacy.
Nope.
People go into your room all day long if they want. you know, you could be sleeping like at 3 o'clock in the morning. Wake up, Marine! It's like damn it. Oh, we used to have so much fun. Those in the service. Some of the other ones is like sometimes we get bored on a Friday night, like right before we're gonna go out to party. We'll have what we called barracks mania, and it was like wrestling in the barracks.
We
Last
went.
one standing.
We turned the hallway into a slip and slide one time.
We've done that too before.
Hey, we were safe. We put our cab wires on.
No, Jen, we can't talk Star Trek because we have an agreement with Chase that we won't talk about Star Trek for 45 minutes.
That's only when he's here.
Is Chase here tonight?
No. He's
Wow.
got his young one to take care of in dissertation, I think, is what he's working on.
Whatever.
Last I talked to him, that's what he was up to.
Yeah, okay. So Chase at These Are the Voyages podcast, which you can find at that website link right there. Pretty cool guy. I mean, I believe our own Jennie had an interview with him over the past week, didn't she?
Saturday, I believe.
So I don't know if it's going to be on the 27th or November 7th release. But if you guys want to check that out, Jennie was interviewed by Chase on his podcast, These Are the Voyages, and they release on the 7th of each month. So hopefully we can get confirmation from Chase when him and the Jennie interview. And the interview was actually over something really, really cool. He's celebrating 2 years anniversary.
Oh, that's right, he is, isn't he?
Yeah. So I would definitely recommend checking out his 2-year anniversary podcast. Plus, our own co-host, Rear Admiral Jennie Hay, will be on that.
Oh, speaking of podcasts, I know I was going to tell you.
Hmm.
I caught the beginning of Priority One's live recording on Twitch last night, and you and I are actually featured in their intro through pictures from Las Vegas conventions over the years. It's you can kind of tell we're a little bit younger. So it was like 2015, 2018. And one of them, I'm actually in a Fleet 31 uniform standing next to Elijah.
I think it's because we were presenting them with their honorary ambassador awards.
I think so.
That's pretty cool. I'll have to check out the intro.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't listened to Priority One in probably 2 years, honestly.
Elio is pretty awesome. Have you ever have you hung out with Elio before?
I have.
Yeah. I didn't realize how awesome Cubans could be and hang out with.
He's a good guy.
He is.
The thing I like about Elio is, yeah, I can definitely tell that he's like really professional and likes everything on cue and the point when he's on his podcast. He is nothing like that off the air. He's very friendly, warm-hearted kind of person.
So I kind of met Elio at my first con, Star Trek con. I believe it was the 50th.
Oh, okay. 2016?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I've gone to so many now; it all blurs together.
All right.
But so Eric and I, we had 2 extra tickets for dinner with the What We Left Behind DS9 cast.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
And so we invited Elio and I forget what her name was.
Allison?
Yes, Allison.
Yeah.
To go because we didn't have anyone else, and they couldn't go. So we ended up going with a couple other podcasters from Women of Warp, I think it was.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, they got free tickets to go hang out with the DS9 What We Left Behind cast.
Oh, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. I mean, if I would have known Jennie and Scott back then, I mean, you guys
Maybe
would
them.
have.
Yeah, we would have been down for it.
Yeah. But I didn't know you guys back then, unfortunately.
Come on, refocus camera.
And I'll be honest, I was a little disappointed in what was offered for the Voyager one.
Oh, did you do that one too?
I only did the just enough to get my name on it, and I think a shirt or two.
Okay.
But I was disappointed this time around because it was much more. It was a lot higher priced.
Oh,
and,
really?
Yeah, and it was with DS9 actors.
Huh. How can you have DS9 actors for Voyager?
Because my thought process with it is because they had the relationship with the DS9 actors, they did not have the relationship with the Voyager actors like that.
Mm. Oh, speaking of Voyager actors, though, neither of you guys. I know me and Jenny do TikTok. Do you guys do TikTok?
I don't.
I watch TikTok. I don't.
Okay. So Garrett Wong, everybody knows who Garrett is, right? His girlfriend and him basically they share an account. He has his own. He has like 5,000 followers, but he has never posted a single thing because he's always on his girlfriend's account. And it's kind of funny if you go. I would recommend, guys, if you want to see somebody funny, like a Star Trek actor being funny and actually comical and will actually make you laugh, definitely check out their content.
I would
Some
say
of the
Garrett.
some of the things that they respond to are just so funny.
Yeah, and Garrett's definitely one to make you crack up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that one up. I've never seen her TikTok pop up.
Yeah, Megan and Garrett are awesome. There's one where Megan gets a comment from a fan, right, of Garrett's obviously, and talks about, Garrett, maybe someday getting a girlfriend. And Garrett's like, literally, it's her account.
Megan's awesome. You'll get if you're on the cruise, you get to meet her.
Hmm. I'm really hoping he does his Forever Ensign stand up again. That was hilarious.
You know that was added to on the cruise as all happening on the cruise.
Hmm.
Like it wasn't supposed to be an actual show.
I think
speaking
with the
of-
number of people that were there, yeah,
Yeah.
it's probably going to be a continuing thing. 'Cause
Yeah,
that room
he
was
did-
packed.
He did
Yeah.
2 shows and both of them were packed.
I need to hear about this Forever Ensign thing, but he just did something about that on TikTok today. One of the fans asked, Garrett, was there a reason why they made you an ensign? And then his response to that, and I thought it was very comical, was somebody had to be the ensign on the show.
I really wanted him to come back in Picard as like a lieutenant commander.
Mhm.
Or as a captain, maybe, because it is like almost 20 years later.
No,
Oh.
Because in 2399 he was commander of the Rhode Island, or captain of the Rhode Island.
Have you seen
No.
that Lower Decks meme making fun of him being an ensign? Because the latest, like the less junior officer on the Cerritos is a higher rank than he is.
Wow. I don't know what Voss bottle's supposed to mean, Jenny. Do you, Scott?
Voss bottle. I know what a Voss is.
I know what a bottle is. Jenny, can we get some context? Oh, we gotta wait like about 5 seconds or so for her to respond to that. So in the meantime, we'll make great radio. Silence.
But we make great radio.
Silence.
But going back to the Forever Ensign thing is Garrett doing a stand-up comedy show, and it was literally live one thing after another, and he talked about, as we've all seen him at Q&A, talk about the power of Delancey and how that came about, and it just went on from there. It's great.
So I made right after he did the Forever Ensign, I literally got on my phone and created a shirt that said Garrett Wong Garrett Wong and John Delancey for president. And with the tagline by the power of Delancey. And I sold like 15 shirts from that.
That's pretty cool.
It's still available on Amazon.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
I'll find the link for you.
John Delancey and Forever. Is that what she means by Voss bottle?
Voss is a water bottle brand.
It's also the name of a race in Star Wars. You have to go to the Voss homeworld. I don't know if there's any Star Trek ties to it. Oh, but speaking of Star Trek, do you guys know how the 10th and final episode of season 2 came out?
Mm-hmm.
I kid you not. There is somebody who's already made a 3D model of the what's it called? The Urbana?
Urbana?
The Urbana, thank you. The Urbana
yeah.
class of the USS Archimedes in a 3D model, and it looks pretty sweet.
Wow, that was fast.
Yeah, very fast. Let me see if I can find it on.
Yeah,
Discord.
Oh, okay. That's what she meant. If you look in the comments.
The story about John Delancey.
Oh,
I can't even finish that, Jenny. I can't even finish that comment. This is a family-friendly show. Or at least I want to keep telling myself that. Where is it? Where is it? First officer support sims. There we go. Starbase 400. Not the area I wanted. Okay. I'm trying to find the 3D model picture of it.
but it's basically a modified Excelsior.
With okay, so yes, but somebody made a comment on I think it was on another podcast maybe, but somebody made the comment about the fact that that there was a one line throwaway earlier in the season talking about how every ship is being meshed together with a sovereign.
Hmm.
And so I think that's where this whole idea comes from. But let me get ready to share with you guys this picture. Please tell me this. Okay, I need this. Close out of this one. Open that. Sorry, I have to put it on Chrome. I don't know why, but my Firefox always tries to open everything for me when I open a new link to anything.
So change your what is it, default settings.
I'll have to look into that. But here we go. There it is. There's a couple other images, but that's what it looks like as a 3D model. The guys, for those who don't know, the 10th episode just came out less than a week ago, and somebody's already made a 3D model of it.
Yeah, well, you take the Excelsior, make it bigger, elongate the saucer a little bit, and there you go.
Yeah, and put the sovereign engines on it or
Yeah.
nacelles.
And the deflector.
Yep.
Okay, but I mean, what if you already had an Excelsior model done? I mean, it wouldn't take that long to modify it.
I keep thinking that thing needs a third nacelle.
No, it does not need a third nacelle.
No, I would have added fourth. Added
Now, if
two
I would have
below.
done anything,
Yeah.
I would have added a little more depth to the saucer.
I
Because
don't.
it's too flat underneath. It's like
I
flat.
don't. Yeah, but I also don't like the 3 nacelle thing. I personally, if you're going to add more nacelles, you need to do it in 2s.
Yeah, so I man, I don't know if you know, but I belong to a few Star Trek writing groups, and one of the groups I had has a fleet yards attached to the group. And somebody, like I said, already made that, and I was impressed because, like, really, not even a week old, somebody's already has a 3D model of this, and already given rights to people to use the model, for the images. Because a lot of even though it's all fan base, and of course nobody can make a profit, you still kind of have to ask each other permission for using other people's images that they make
Right.
or models. So
You
that
know
is
what?
impressive.
You know what I would always wanted to see on a ship where the saucer separates.
What?
I wanted to see the cells also on the saucer section.
Well,
Yeah, or kind of like
good
fall
news.
out.
Good
Yep.
news in Star
Yeah.
Trek Discovery, you can see that where the nacelles separate.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Yeah. But no, I mean, I want it to, like, when it's 2 different things, the other portion gets the cells or has the cells already on it.
Well, if you look at the MVM escort, the alpha section has its own nacelle that kind of pops up.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, the multi-vector assault mode
Multi-vector,
for me.
yeah.
The Prometheus.
Yeah.
Oh, have you guys? Speaking of that, have you guys read Star Trek Coda, the
No.
new book novel series? Well, minor spoiler: the Prometheus is mentioned. I don't know if it's actually going to be featured, but it is a trilogy set, and it's supposed to be closing off this particular Star Trek universe. So, as most of you guys already know, I don't know if Matt does. I know Scott does. I always consider books to be their own canon. They're not part of the mainstream canon because there are events in this series that don't take place in the Picard series. Like, for example, 2387, Picard's still a captain, in command of the Enterprise. But by this time, Picard's an admiral and he's already retired from Starfleet in 2387 because of a decision they made in 2385.
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep that spoiler free.
The TV series and movies are canon. The books are non-canon, but could eventually become canon.
Well,
It's kind of like the Memory Alpha is full canon, Memory Beta, and it really depends on what you're looking at.
Right.
so I know that they're planning on, after this trilogy, relaunching a new series of books. It's not the end of the books, guys. So, I mean, and I don't know if that means they're going to completely close out that universe. It just means they're closing it out for now. It doesn't mean they can't come back to it and retouch on it later if they want to. But my guess is they probably want to be more streamlined with what's going on in the movies today
Yeah.
and the TV
Yeah.
shows today. So, and right now, one of my favorite authors, Dayton Ward, did the first book. So, I'm enjoying reading it or listening to it, not reading it. So it helps that I don't have to read like 12 hours worth of book. Somebody else gets to read it for me. Were you were gonna say something, Matt?
No,
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to finish my train of thought.
no. All I did was go, "Yep." I basically I was just agreeing.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I'm also interested in is what do you guys think about like video games and comics?
I wouldn't classify them as canon unless someone says they're canon.
What about like animated cartoons then?
Cartoon, that's a different story. I mean, it depends on the medium, but for Star Trek right now, the animated stuff is canon,
Yeah.
as far as we know.
Well, the thing I really like, even though we haven't seen the Vesta class yet, we have seen the Titan class. So that fan art created ship is now finally into the Star Trek universe. Even if it's not main canon, it's still part of the canon. If you consider, like I said, I always consider the cartoons, the books, and everything else as canon. It just may not be mainstream canon from the movies and TV series, but it doesn't mean that it's not canon nonetheless.
Well, I mean, Lower Decks in the animated series, those are still considered canon.
Prodigy will be considered canon as well.
Prodigy will be considered canon.
That's gonna be good and scare me at the same time.
But as far as like the X-Men Star Trek crossover, I wouldn't classify that as canon.
I consider that fan service.
Yeah.
No, what scares me about that is if I don't know, some people are already speculating, and you guys might have your own speculations, but I'm kind of on board with these guys. I think the ship was sent to get the Voyager crew, somehow ended up on the planet, either by choice or by accident. Or maybe the ship got orders saying, hey, you don't need to go pick up the crew anymore. They're back. We really don't know what happened to the Protostar.
I want to say I'm going to disagree with you on that.
Hey, please do, because this is all speculation, buddy.
I'm going to say that the ship was brought to the Delta Quadrant by the caretaker also. And that
far out, though? I don't think they're near the Kazon. I think they're in a different part of the galaxy, closer to home.
Or a caretaker.
Well, that's true. There is more than one.
Yep. But we also remember there were more than just the Voyager that was sent out by the caretaker.
Well, we know the Equinox for sure, and the Klingons. Yeah. No, the Klingons came the old-fashioned way.
And the Ferengi came through a wormhole, but
yeah,
I mean, I'm thinking it's something along those lines, and that the crew just disappeared,
either killed or maybe a part of that prison planet,
or got abducted,
or just decided to not try to get home and integrate into society.
Well, what they could do to make it really fun is don't tell what happens to the crew until maybe like at the end of the season. Learn from Discovery's mistakes. Man, I'll be the person to tell you that. What they should have done with Discovery season 1, they should have started us on episode 3, trying to figure out what happened to Burnham. Why did she betray Starfleet? And then at the end of the season, did the first 2 episodes. And, I think that would have been a better way of handling that because it just felt so different. It's like, you have this character who's all by the book, and all of a sudden now she's a betrayer, and it doesn't make sense. And what's going on with her? I think it would have been better if we had the mystery.
I don't disagree, but I think they did show they were showing that this is a different Star Trek. This isn't your mom and pop Star Trek.
Mhm.
And I think that was the whole reason they did it.
Well, that's Alex Kurtzman's MO.
Yeah,
He said that from the movies. This isn't your parents' Star Trek.
Yeah. While I like Discovery and the new era of Star Trek, it does leave me wanting some traditional Trek, which I hope we're going to get with Strange New Worlds.
Yes and no. I know we had this conversation off the air, and I will kind of say this. Should we say this or should we not? Because there is a minor spoiler if we talk about old Trek versus new Trek and what happened at the end of Lower Deck Season 2. Maybe we don't have to talk about what happened, but maybe we can talk about how... Okay, so, I'm just going to do it light. I'm going to try to go very lightly on this. So basically, Mike McMahon pulled a 90s stunt in Star Trek, which in the 90s, in my personal opinion, it worked. You can end a series on a cliffhanger. Because, one, you didn't know if a show was coming back. And the reason they did the cliffhangers is because they wanted to bring up the ratings for a particular show to see if it had enough fan support base to bring it back the following season. We don't use that model or system anymore. Yes, they still use the Nielsen rating systems for regular TV, but we're not in regular TV. We're in a pay gate. So that means all of our content, all of our episodes and stories are paid for. We know that the series is coming back.
I'm gonna disagree with you a little bit because they don't always wrap up storylines.
No,
every season, and that itself is a cliffhanger.
Wait. Are you talking about the original, or are you talking about the new stuff?
Talking about everything. I'm talking about shows today. Period.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the way I see it is most shows will have an overall story that'll continue, but every story, like Discovery, Picard, and both seasons of Discovery, or actually all 3 seasons of Discovery, have always completed whatever the mini story they were working on is for that season.
Well, they did wrap that up.
They didn't do it in Lower Decks.
Yes,
they left it wide. No, they left it open.
No, they left the new whole new storyline open.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're still guys. We're gonna wait for the DVD to come out, and then we'll go into full disclosures, and we'll talk about the full episode. But what I can say is, what he's saying is partially true because, but Lower Decks is kind of like New Worlds, Strange New Worlds. They're episodic series that have overall character growth, developing arcs, right? So the characters keep developing, but the stories are usually 1 week here, 1 week here, 1 week here.
Right.
However,
they do
Lower Decks,
things, but they don't.
Yeah. However, Lower Decks this time did a 2-parter. They didn't tell you though that was the other annoying factor about it. You didn't realize at the beginning that episode 9 and episode 10 are a 2-parter episode. Because events that happen in episode 9 affect events that happen in episode 10, which usually does not happen in an episodic series.
I would agree with you on that. Yeah. But it does it has in the past occasionally happened.
Usually when you're trying to bring up your ratings and either going to the mid-season, and this I'm talking about the 90s now, when you're going to the mid-season cliffhanger or you're going into the season finale cliffhanger because you want to bring up your ratings right before to find out if your show is going to be picked up for another season.
Yeah. But I'm also going to say I don't think it's a bad move.
No, I mean, there's some things that need to be canceled. I see one of them. Go ahead, Scott.
No, I was going to say, we do know Lower Decks has got picked up for another season, so there wasn't any worry there for it.
Right.
I know. There's no reason to do this. I get the fact that Mike McMahon likes to pay homage to everything about the old Trek, but do you really need to pay homage to the 90s? It's like an old archaic system doesn't really... No. We could have ended that whole season off. I rather they would have taken what happened at the very end of the episode and started it in the new season, and then built the whole season around it, and then figure out why.
But it also leaves you wanting more Lower Decks too. So I get it from that perspective.
Dude, every season I want more Lower Decks, even after it completes.
True.
You don't need
I
to
mean-
convince me to get more lower decks.
I mean, I would be cool with having Star Trek on 4 nights a week, all different series.
Mhm.
But
Yeah. Well, you can, thanks to the pay gate. You can watch 800 plus episodes. Yes, Jen.
yeah, but I'm talking new Trek. I'm not talking Trek I've seen a million times.
Well, I'm actually kind of curious. Speaking of which, I guess we'll kind of venture a little off. But speaking of Alex Kurtzman, now that CBS and Viacom are one company, and we've heard rumors that and vague messages and statements that they released that it sounds like they're going to be films in the making. I hope they're TV films. I hope they're not big screen adaptations. Not that I'm against a big screen adaptation. Star Trek usually does better in the home TV than it does on the big theater.
I've heard there's 2 to 3 big projects that are Trek related that are right now kind of on the drawing board. We'll see which
Yeah.
one we get.
Well, I mean, the other thing I wouldn't mind seeing too is like you have some of these actors, use them. You have the sets, you have the stages, you have this cool thing called short treks.
Hmm.
Use it.
We haven't got any short treks since COVID started,
Yeah. Well,
and
True.
that's disappointing.
well, we kind of had the second season of Short Treks was all about Strange New Worlds, right?
Mhm.
And the one episode of Picard that we got from it. And that I want to say that was like the very beginning of COVID, Matt. But since COVID's been in its full effect, we haven't really got anything new.
Well, yeah, I mean, we do. I mean, we've gotten short treks because they were recorded before COVID hit.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a Ready Room too. Like this season with Lower Decks, we didn't have a Ready Room after each episode. There's one beginning of this season.
Well, you didn't
and
you didn't
end.
first season either.
Oh, that's true.
you
We
had a-
didn't. You're right.
You only had you had three. You had one
Yeah,
at the
we
beginning,
had
one
it
at the
with-
middle, and one at the end.
Yeah, we had it with Picard though.
And Discovery.
And then did we have it with every episode of Discovery?
We did.
Yes.
Um,
And I'm pretty sure every episode of Strange New Worlds too.
Probably. But I was gonna say, if you do have not seen last week's Ready Room, do, because there's some really, really good stuff in it.
You talking about for Lower Decks?
Yes, for the Lower Decks episode, but watch Lower Decks episode first. That way you avoid spoilers.
can
Not
we
you
just,
two, but everybody else.
can we just get Rebecca Romaine and Jerry O'Connell on the cruise?
Right?
Why? So you can hear them argue about which one's the better first officer.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay,
how,
Vice Lieutenant.
how awesome would Jerry O'Connell be?
It would be fun. It would be
Especially you get him with Will Wheaton together too. Like the three of them on the cruise would be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see what she's like, what Rebecca Romaine's like when she's around Jerry, because she seems like more like a
Uptight.
no, not uptight. She just seems more like a what's a nice way of saying this. I mean, not nice. I mean, she just seems like she's a well-mannered person, like a proper person, you know.
Mhm.
You know, and she seems well-propered. That's where I'm like, well-propered or well-mannered. And her husband is such a goofball. I'm just curious
He
to see
is.
what he's like. I'm curious to see their chemistry together in person, because you hear about it from both of them, but you never see them together.
Yeah. Well, they were on Star Trek Day, weren't they? Together for a minute.
Mhm. They
Mm,
were.
yeah, briefly.
But
No, but Star Trek
no, I
is
think-
hilarious with them.
But yeah, if you could get Jerry O'Connell and Will Wheaton together, that would be cool to
Yeah.
kind of see them bounce off each other from back and reference things that back in the day when they were on Stand By Me.
But we do get Isla. We do get Isla from Picard.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hope she sings. I seriously do.
I do too.
I hope they
Um,
get her on the night.
I would like Roxanne Dawson back again.
See, I don't know about her because I've never seen her, because she doesn't do a lot of conventions. At least she doesn't do a lot of creation conventions.
She's busy. I mean, she's truly busy.
Is she?
Yeah, she does a lot of directing.
Oh, okay. Like Robbie McDuncan McNeil.
Yeah, well, I would say even probably more than he does.
Okay.
But I have to say, I felt a whole new love for her the night on the cruise, where it's Jerry Ryan, Roxanne Dawson. What's his name? Why am I blanking on his name? He played Hugh.
Oh, Jonathan Del Arco.
Yeah, Jonathan Del Arco and Jonathan Del Arco's husband. They're all sitting
Okay.
they're all sitting at the poker table in the casino, and there's me and like 3 other fans standing behind, just watching them play, and the 4 of them are just ragging on each other
Mhm.
and not caring what they're betting, half paying attention to the game, and it was one of the best sessions I've ever seen them just go back and forth with each other.
You know, you guys keep talking about the cruise, and I keep getting more and more excited. For those who don't know, I haven't. Well, I think everybody knows by now. I haven't been on a cruise. It's gonna be my first. It's gonna be my wife's first. But these 2 guys here are salty veterans of the cruise world.
Probably my third.
So, how many cruises have you both been on, or for Star Trek? Not cruises in
This
general.
one coming up will be my third.
Yeah, so Scott and I have been on the same amount.
Okay,
In fact,
great.
we've been on the same ones together.
Oh, okay.
With Jennie and a bunch of other people too.
Yeah.
Oh,
And by
Scott,
the
you don't
way-
have to hide your feelings. It's okay to say you and Matt were on a cruise together. Jenny's
Oh, well,
not here.
me and Scott, we're cuddle buddies.
I'm a little jealous. I gotta admit.
Jay, you can join us. I do want to point out that there are still cabins available
Yeah.
for anyone
Hey,
that's
Jen.
interested.
Yeah, I want to get back to that. Matt says I can join their cuddle group.
What?
Okay. Now I got her all confused. Yeah, go ahead and talk about the rooms.
Yeah, there's still rooms available at just about all the lower levels of like cabin sizes. So there's some single rooms, there's some interior, some exterior, and some promenade view.
Is that $24,000 room still open?
No, I think that one's full.
Did it actually get booked? Because when I checked the other
Probably.
day, it was open.
I'll look right now.
$24,000.
Yeah, but
I
if
mean-
it had enough room for what 10 or 12 people. You split
Yeah.
that into it's like $2,000 a piece. So it's
Well,
just like a normal
no,
cabin.
Maybe it's a minimum of 24,000,
Well, yeah.
and then it goes up by an additional 2,000, up to 12 people, right? So
Mhm.
he's looking right now while we wait. But when I looked, it's like all the other suites are taken except for that one.
The grand suite with balcony, minimum 4 guests, is still open.
That's the one I'm talking about. Yeah, the 2,400, 24,000.
2 bedroom.
Yeah.
And then spacious ocean view balcony, ocean view promenade, interior view, interior, and single interior staterooms are all still available.
Yeah, so actually the 3 of us actually have 3 different rooms. I have a promenade interior. I think Matt's doing the interior, and Scott's doing the spacious balcony
I think it's
or
just
standard balcony.
I think it's a standard balcony.
Okay.
I have to get back and look, but
Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, but I'm saying, people, come on, let's do this. More the
So
merrier.
the other thing is, yes, if you guys are interested, there are prices on there. There are still rooms open. Just remember, it's double occupancy. So if you're gonna go by yourself, I think there's still single cabins.
There is, and it's 3,000 for
Yeah.
new guests.
So that will honestly be cheaper than getting a double occupancy interior or a double occupancy interior promenade. Because like mine was 5,100, but now I think it's like 5,600 because they did raise up the prices a little bit.
Yep. And remember, you like Jay, you are a new guest, so you have to pay the new guest price.
Which I did, but when
Yeah.
I paid it, it was cheaper because it was earlier.
Where Scott and I got the onboard booking price, which is still a lot cheaper.
Next year, if we do it, I can do that. But I think we're also looking at going on another cruise next year instead. A standard Royal cruise.
Yeah, you can
On
say
Harmony
that.
of the Seas.
Once you do the Star Trek cruise, I don't think you want to ever go back.
yeah, you're gonna be hooked on it.
To Harmony. Well, I'm going to give up the Star Trek convention because I'm not willing to travel because that's just way too expensive.
What What
Oh,
comes-
the Raid Pop one you're talking about.
Well, that's the
oh,
only
the
one.
yeah.
I mean,
No.
no, they still have the Vegas convention, but it's not a Star Trek convention. It's a sci-fi convention now.
Mhm.
No, it's a sci-fi convention with a huge emphasis on Star Trek.
Yeah,
Like
but
99.9% emphasis on Star Trek,
Mhm.
yeah.
which it's been the entire time that we had that 1% that was not Star Trek actors that would come.
Well, Adam Savage, I think it was the Dallas one, wasn't he?
He was.
Okay, I was kind of getting mixed up on those two.
And I mean, you come out to Vegas, it'll be a lot cheaper this time.
It's gonna be at the Bally's.
Yeah.
How's that cheaper?
Because it's 3 days instead of 5.
Yeah.
What?
Mhm.
They're gonna shorten it?
Yep. Only for this year. I think once they go back to Rio, it goes back to 5 days.
So
They're not selling Rio after all.
Rio is sold.
Rio
Rio is shutting down at the end of this year to be remodeled.
Okay.
Okay, but I believe Creation has a contract with the Rio after this year to go back there. They're using Bally's as a tide over spot because the Rio's going to be under construction next year.
How are they gonna do that?
And then do what?
If the Rio's being sold,
It's already sold. It's been sold. It's been under new ownership for the last 3 years.
but isn't it gonna be for the Raiders?
No,
Oh, okay. So that rumor is not true then.
the Rio is just reopening as the Rio, but just not owned by Caesar's property.
Oh, okay. Because I was told, I didn't know if this was true, and you would know more than I would. That the Rio was going to be repurposed for the Raiders and Raider fans.
No.
Oh.
No, so the Rio was sold 3 years ago to a new company, and then Caesar's has had an operating deal that expires at midnight this New Year's Eve.
Okay.
And rumor has it, Bally's is up for sale after this year.
And Bally's is owned by Caesar Entertainment too.
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
Bally's is super pricey in my opinion.
Bally's is super cheap.
No, I don't think so.
It's cheaper to stay at Bally's than it is at any other casino on the Strip, with the exception of Circus
and Excalibur.
and Excalibur, which neither one I would recommend staying at.
I've stayed at both. I've stayed at both.
But I stay at Bally's all the time for $10 a night.
I've never seen it that low. It's usually like 200.
Yeah, I get there. I get $10 a night, no resort fee.
At least because you're an employee.
No, I work for a different company.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to figure those deals out because usually what my sister does is she'll play like the Facebook games, My Vegas, and get herself a couple comp nights, and then my mom will do the same thing, and they'll usually comp night all the rooms at Mandalay Bay, but then they have to pay the resort fee.
No, I'm
deposit.
I'm special.
Oh, okay. Well, no, it's because like that's how my sister gets Mandalay Bay, Scott. It's like she'll do a couple nights, and then she'll do a couple nights with mom, and then and usually when we do the 8-day trip together, they do have to pay some nights, but they get a huge discount because of the fact that they're not paying full price.
Yeah, because they're using their points or whatever.
Yeah.
And there's ways to do that around here. Lots of ways. But yeah. But no, Bally's will be cool, except I don't know what they're gonna do for restaurants.
There are several restaurants on the Strip.
Yeah, but the restaurants in the Bally's have all closed.
Maybe they'll reopen by, next year.
Well,
yeah,
Caesar's gonna have their own food court anyways, like they did. They just call it Corks. Oh, what they call it this year? Since they couldn't call it Corks.
Jimmy's
Jimmy's Place. Yep.
And then the icon was James Doohan in a spacesuit, cartoonized.
But the inside of it was still decorated like it was Corks. They just couldn't label it that.
Yeah.
Did they have the chamber?
The Borg chamber, yes, it was repainted, but yes.
Yeah.
Repainted?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was darker colored. Instead of gray, it was black.
And like you know how that main stage
Actually, that
door
would have
is.
been cool.
Well,
That
you know
would've
how like you know how the main stage door is usually like that orange and has the red label, like you're walking into holodeck or whatever.
Yeah.
They just repainted over that and made it a dark gray to match everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's the same
Well,
door.
they have to, they have to do it because they don't have the Star Trek license anymore.
Mhm.
But I hope Reed Pop fails, to be honest with you, and it goes back to creation. As much as I don't like creation,
Yeah.
I think I like the way creation does their conventions better than Reed Pop.
Well, we haven't even given Repop a chance, but what I can say about Repop is they have a better track record with customer service.
Okay, but
that doesn't mean I like Repop.
Well, I was looking at Reed Pop's, like what they're offering, and they're offering a lot less and no guaranteed seating.
Yeah, it's true. So far, we don't know. They might add things. Kind of like the Star Trek cruise, they keep putting up advertisements and then they take them back down again. Talk about shore excursions.
That's not that was not
that wasn't ECP's fault. That was Royals.
Yeah. There's a difference there.
Yep.
Well, see, that's the other question I had, because so let me get this straight. So Royal is doing all the shore excursions, but everything on the ship itself will be ECP. There will be no ice show, no
right,
no any maybe swimming pool. Will the slides be open at least?
The what?
The slides, the water slides. Mariner has slides.
More than likely, though, I like
Flow rider.
The Wave Rider was open for a little bit on the cruise. The things that I don't know if the mini golf was open or not. I never saw it open, but I didn't go up there very often.
Oh, come on. That's one of the things I want to do on the ship is mini golf.
I don't know if the escape room is going to be open.
I'm pretty sure it is because it's a popular attraction.
Well, no, I think they'll probably repurpose it into something else.
God, I hope not. Because Jennie and I are talking about doing that.
That's what they do a lot of is they repurpose the rooms to fit their needs.
Well, I know from Jennie, she's saying that the kids area is going to be closed and it's going to be the ECP staffing area.
Right. Well, and they turned one area, what was it, the library into the museum?
Yeah, I heard that too.
So, I mean, and suppose the skating rink was supposed to be open partially for our trip, and it never was open for skating.
Well, part of that is because the programming that was in there was supposed to be up on the top deck, but it was too windy to hold it, so they repurposed that room for it.
Right. But and that may happen. So I mean, you just gotta be flexible on that part. But honestly, there wasn't a lot of time to do things like that. If you wanted to get everything, if you wanted to see everything.
Uh-huh.
What do you mean? Because of the shows in the main theater?
Because of the shows all over the ship, not just the main theater. In fact, I skipped probably 50% of the shows in the main theater.
Where are the other places like Studio B, which is the ice rink?
Studio B, the Star Lounge. I mean, there's things going on in different parts of the ship at all hours of a day.
Uh-huh.
In fact, you don't go to the main theater as often as you think you would.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there's at least 4 venues on the ship, to include the pool deck, that things are happening at all times.
I did not know that. I thought it was just like 2 or 3. I thought it was literally just a convention on sea. So you'd have a vendors area, you would have a couple of rooms where people would be doing things.
Yeah.
There's not really a vendors area other than the trading post.
Yep.
Yeah. And then from you guys, what you guys have told me, the trading post, you want to pre-order to guarantee anything.
Pre-order or get there early, one of the two.
If you are a large male, you're going to want to pre-order. Or female, probably. I didn't pay attention to anything female.
Okay.
So, but but yeah, because we're all larger people
Mm.
in general, a lot of the larger sizes sell out fast.
Okay. Ah,
But yeah, I mean, there are literally like there will be conflicting events going on all day long.
do they repeat them, or is it just a one time?
Some
Go ahead, Matt. Sorry.
some get repeated, some don't.
Fair enough. Let's see here. Sorry.
I mean, like the main show, it will be repeated for because blue tickets will go one day, red tickets will go either later or the next day for it.
Okay.
But like what was it, Mad Libs with Denise Crosby? That won't
Forever
be
Instant show with Harry Kim or Garrett Wong.
the Instant. Forever Instant was twice.
Okay. Oh, I heard there's another one. Like Beverly or Gates McFadden was talking about it, where the improv show.
Mhm.
They'd go, and then the script, and then another one with the guy who plays Travis Merriweather, Anthony Montgomery. I guess they did something like a lip reading or something like that, or silent movie.
Oh,
Was it?
well, Anthony Montgomery hasn't been on the cruise yet.
Okay, maybe it wasn't him. Who was it then that did it? Somebody said that they would take out all the audio and then they do their own audio track.
Oh yeah, I mean they do. It's kind of like Mad Libs.
Yeah. Okay, that's what the Mad Libs one is. Okay.
Yeah, Denise Crosby would. They would screen a original series episode, and instead of having them talk, they would come up with their own lines, and they'd riff off of each other.
Okay.
And
All right.
that's actually something you want to go see.
Sounds like it.
Mhm.
So, Sky, you almost out of time, buddy?
Oh, we're getting there. We got about 15
Yeah.
more minutes.
I know, 15 more minutes, and I still haven't said you need to put a ring on it, buddy. But it kind of defeats the purpose when Jenny's not here.
You're getting me a ring?
You hear that, Jenny? You're being replaced. You're already cuddle buddies. I don't get to be cut. I mean, I just got invited to the cuddle buddy group.
Yeah, well, I mean, he is the famous Scott Sterling.
This is true. Oh,
The
speaking of
famous
that, and we have a team chat at work going on,
Mhm.
and yesterday my supervisor goes, Scott Sterling, and asked me a question referring to that guy.
Yeah.
What
Yeah, have you
is
seen
this? What?
Have you not seen the Scott Sterling?
No, not that.
No.
Let me show you what I'm saying. What to? Let me show you.
I know what you're gonna show.
Hey, she's doing this to herself.
This is true.
What
Oh,
is
But
that?
no,
With skirt on it.
A pickle with a skirt?
but it answers the question: to pickle or not to pickle.
So the answer to the question is not to pickle. Matt, would you agree?
yes. I would agree on that.
Scott, realize Jenny's not here, but you still have to answer for whatever your answer is next. So do you agree or not agree?
I agree.
I'm honestly surprised by that one. You know, we're gonna get slack from Jenny to right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. No, guys, we're not afraid of Jenny. We're morbidly afraid of Jenny. It's not a little bit, a little bit.
I mean, she's not here. We control her a little bit.
You know she'll get us back though if we try too much.
Yeah, true.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's the way it works.
Yeah. She's been pretty nice tonight about the trolling. I'm surprised. I thought she would be a little more like me.
She's probably a little bit more busier than she thought she would be
Mhm.
because the internet's down.
Okay. I can't imagine that. That seriously sucks. Seriously. For those who can't see what we're laughing at, there you go. We are bored, okay? The other thing I've been meaning to ask her is where did she get that cool looking avatar?
Henry, Priority One, made that for
Really?
it. Long time ago.
I should talk to that guy. He does some good graphics work,
He
especially
does.
yeah. And I definitely want to. When we get off the air, I definitely want to check the Priority One intro. I didn't realize we were on it.
I didn't either, and I don't watch the live recordings because I've got something else going on. But it's like I'm down here early.
Mhm.
Let's just see because I haven't caught them in a while. So I'm like, let's see what if they have got a new format, whatever. And yeah, then when I saw that, I'm like, holy cow, that's cool.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think with that, we should probably get ready to call it a night before Jenny does any more sketches. Jenny just says sketches are amazing. That and Scott needs to get ready to go to bed soon.
Well, no, not yet. I'm up for
I
a
thought
while.
you
I
had
don't
to-
have. No, I was just trying to keep it to our normal length podcast is all.
Okay.
Yeah, because we all
Oh.
got things to do.
Because I could talk with you guys for all night long. Actually, I could talk with Jenny all night long too. And in fact, there are some nights where we all do.
Mhm.
I mean, it's still early for me.
Yeah, me too. But my realtor guy, it's kind of funny. I kind of sent him the link. He's like, "When are you gonna be off the air?" Because he wants to talk about looking at houses this weekend. Like, but he's also my old high school buddy, so that's why it's not unusual for him to message me this late at night. Like, hey, do you see any houses you're interested in? Do you want to look at them this weekend? I'm like, so I said yes, and I said he talked to Jen, and then as soon as I got done, he wraps up what he's doing, and then I'm like, I'm on the air now. Poor guy.
Yeah, I want to buy a house here within the next year myself.
In Vegas?
Yep,
Ooh, that's gonna be fun.
because
You gonna get solar panels?
of course.
I'm gonna say because they're in Vegas, you're gonna have to do solar panels because the air conditioning alone will kill you in cost.
But I'm I want to get a house because at the very least, if I don't decide to live here the rest of my life, I can always rent it out.
Oh,
It's true.
I will tell you, I don't know, maybe in your guys' area it's better, but what I've been hearing about renting right now is not the time to be renting anything because of the silliness with the whole eviction notices that came out. A lot of people are abusing housing and properties and landlords.
I have a friend he lives in Florida that got caught up in part of that.
Yeah.
There's this guy on TikTok, like him or hate him. Some people hate him, some people like him. But he's so upset that he had like 2 really bad seeds and he was just publicly broadcasting them.
I have a house that's currently being rented in Clarksville, Tennessee.
And is it doing pretty good?
Yeah, well, it's 2 full-blood colonels that are renting it. So,
Usually military members are okay.
well, yeah, it's literally 3.5 minutes outside Fort Campbell.
3.5 men. Nice. Which one's Charlie?
Yeah,
3.5
literally.
men. Yeah, no, seriously. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of 2.5 men, not 3.5. 3.5 was the 80s movie one, right?
No, it was 3 men and a baby.
That's right, 3 men and a
Yeah.
baby.
But no, it's 3.5 minutes from Fort Campbell's main
Oh,
entrance.
I thought you said 3.5 men.
No, 3.5 minutes from Fort Campbell.
Oh, okay. See, that's a little different. I thought you said 3.5 men. That's where I was going with that reference.
That's why I went, woo!
Where are my crayons?
But yeah, so
They're on the way, Jay.
and I wouldn't be opposed to buying outside of Nellis Air Force Base here, so I could rent it out to Air Force officers.
Wait, what, Nathaniel?
I took them away.
My son says he took away my crayons.
Yes.
Nathaniel, you want to see a pissed off Marine? Keep hiding my crayons.
Hey, he needs his crayons to survive.
It's true.
64 flavors, buddy.
Dude, hey, speaking of which, Jay, when you do come to Vegas, I'm going to take you to the Leatherneck Club.
No.
Why not?
No. Only if Scott comes with me.
Scott can come. Jenny can
Scott's
come.
like, what?
It's Officers Club, as far as I know.
No.
No.
It's a little eccentric.
I know. Just
You
trying
heard
to
of
be polite.
Darcells?
It's a Marine museum / restaurant
Okay, we'll see.
and motorcycle club.
We'll see how interesting this is. I look forward to it.
I mean, I go up there all the time and hang out.
Okay. I'll have to check it out next time I'm in Vegas. It probably won't be for a little while though, because the next trip we're doing is obviously to Texas and then to Florida, and then we're gonna after that. I think we're gonna go back to Florida to Harmony of the Seas, which is a ship I really want to see because there's a lot of cool things on it.
Cool.
Yeah, it's just I don't know where Harmony is gonna be going yet, but Jed and I already decided what ship we want to be on and what area generally. So, anyways, guys, I think we're gonna get ready to call it a night though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just saying, yep.
Okay. So with that said, live long and prosper, everybody. Have a great night.
Hey, guys.
Good night.
No.